Since Professor Goodhart joined the Department of Political Science at Pitt in 2001, his enthusiasm and commitment to undergraduate education has become legendary. His undergraduates frequently praise him as the best instructor they have had and acknowledge that his courses have challenged, excited, and motivated them.
I believe in pitching the courses, the level of the material, the conceptual level of the course, very high. I think that too often we assume too little from undergraduates. As part of that, it's essential to make sure you then give students all the help they might need so that they can succeed. I want them to be able to read and understand difficult texts. I want them to be able to think critically about those texts, and I want them to be able to speak and write effectively about those texts. And political theory is great stuff for that because it's easy to relate it to stuff that they care about. It doesn't matter what the material is, it matters that they develop these kinds of skills, and if they do that, they'll be able to be good citizens. They'll be able to participate effectively in the dialogues and discourses that are ongoing today and that are really important to their lives.
I think he's here to help us find what it means to be an American and what it means to participate in this society. It's clear that he's well more into this idea of sharing his knowledge with us because he gets so excited about it.
If we fail, government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall perish from the earth. We're it, right? The last best hope. The shining city on the hill, the beacon of freedom, all of that stuff, right? The whole idea of American exceptionalism, right, that America has this unique role or purpose in the world, is evoked here by Lincoln at the end, right? If we don't get this right here now, that's the end of this experiment of democracy, of government founded in liberty and anchored in the idea of equality. It's over. Students really want to learn, and they're really hungry to learn. It's just a question of tapping into that effectively. I think we don't often pay enough attention to how we can structure the course such that it builds in the right kinds of incentives for students to want to do better. So in the American Political Thought class that I'm teaching now, the students have a series of 5 homework assignments and then a final paper. Each of the homework assignments asks the students to focus on a particular skill that's necessary for writing the final paper. In homework 1, they learn to identify and define concepts. In homework 2, they learn to evaluate concepts against other concepts and look for conflicts and so forth. Each one is cumulative. It requires the previous skill plus sort of layers in an additional one. And so by the time they get to the final paper, they've really done all the work that they need to do. And they really feel like they're working with material that they know quite thoroughly.
You actually have to think about what you are writing and not just regurgitating what the professor has told you in class or what you've read in your textbooks. You really have to form arguments that make sense and are coherent.
He really strikes a nice balance of kind of, pushing us a general direction, but really making it interactive so that we get to talk about what we want to talk about.
What we're ultimately about is not just producing knowledge, but transmitting it. Teaching is really a fundamental part of what the mission of any university should be. One of the crucial things about reading old books is that they help us to realize that the world used to be otherwise, and the world is the way it is today in part because people wanted it to be this way. Some people wanted some things that at least led to the world ending up the way it is. To know that ultimate questions about the way society is organized are questions that it's in our power and that we have a responsibility to answer, I think that's something really important that I would like the students to know.